Hey guys, welcome to the Wellness of Health YouTube channel where we cover off on all things mental health. Today we're going to talk about something kind of fun at times, and we're talking about why Tinder is bad for your love life. Okay, yes, first thing to remember with this post is that I will be generalizing here. So don't take everything literally, but from a general point of view, hopefully this gives you some good tips. As someone that's single as well, yes, I am on Tinder. So let's get into some of the reasons why I actually think Tinder is bad for your love life. The number one point is that Tinder is so superficial. Tinder is purely based on what you look like, and not even in a general point of view. It's what you look like in a photo, maxed up, dolled up, and looking your best, so to speak. So often we find that when we go out and meet someone, they might not look like their picture, and that totally is a buzzkill. Tinder conditions your mind to base your relationship on what someone looks like in 1 to 3 photos. Okay, so do you really want a relationship with someone based on their looks, whole and solely, or would you rather get to know them? I mean, how do you even truly know what they look like when you take off the filter and that six-pack from them in the Bahamas on a beach? Do they really look like that on a Monday? Point number 2 is that Tinder does not allow time for a relationship to grow. I'm guilty of this, and so are a lot of other people. I know that, say you start seeing someone, you may, obviously things aren't going to go perfect straight away, and the old cliche, people head back on Tinder and say, oh, I'll just see what's out there and have a bit of a swipe. I mean, you may have just gone on a perfect date with Bob the Builder, but you may get home and think, you know what, that was good, but I'm going to keep chatting to Steve the fireman because maybe he's got something better. This is what's so wrong with us. We need to learn to be able to commit. We need to learn to be able to challenge ourselves to actually spend more time to get to know someone. And I know that girls, you're just as guilty as guys on this one. Okay, the third point is that Tinder has stopped us from meeting in social settings. How often now do we go to a bar or a club or something like that, and I've even had people come up to me and say, oh gee, I hope she's on Tinder. Well, why don't you just go and talk to her? And even me, sometimes I am shy in that way as well. Think 30 years ago, our parents and things like that, there was no technology for them to be able to add them on Facebook after or swipe for them on Tinder later. They would go up and meet someone. Okay, the fourth point is going to get a bit deep. And no, get your minds out of the gutter. That's not what I meant. But Tinder is changing our mind and conditioning us to want instant gratification instead of something long term. Now, some of you might be thinking, Steph, what are you on about with your technical jargon? But in summary, let's make it really simple. For a lot of guys, it's basically wanting to get sex or gratified with hooking up with a new girl and that new spark that they get. Okay, and girls, you know that too. A lot of guys are out there for that one thing. Now, yes, there are girls on the site that want that as well, but for most girls, the gratification comes from having those new matches and having hundreds of messages unread from guys that they're probably never going to meet. So we both have that gratification, and for guys it's when you get to have sex or score in that way, but for girls it's getting those constant matches and getting that constant flood of new people validating that you're attractive or someone they want to be with. I've had a bit of a crack as to some of the reasons why Tinder doesn't work, but what can we do about it? Okay, so don't delete Tinder. I've still got it too. I just think if we change some of the things that we do on there and how we behave, it may actually result in a lasting relationship. So, number 1 point is to swipe less. Girls, you probably don't believe me, but having 100 unread messages means that you've been swiping a lot. How are you going to spend the time getting to know someone if you're swiping on so many people? If you've got 100 unread messages, how are you going to get any type of conversation? I mean, maybe you've got someone working for you, replying to all your messages, but I don't think that's what happens in the real world. So you need to cull back. For guys, look, the old swipe to the right, classic on a Saturday night, that needs to end too, because you're not going to get anywhere. Sure, you might have some fun, but how long do you want to be doing this for? Another thing we can do is match with people that we generally wouldn't go for. I mean, they may not look 100% in their first profile picture, and maybe we would have said, oh, don't worry about it, but try and look into their personality. So the first thing we can do with that is to add a bit of a bio for ourselves. So if you don't have a bio, you're saying to that person, hey, I want to be judged purely on my looks. And that's not what we want. So first of all, you need to load a bio. And second of all, you probably need to speak to only people that have something written down that may resonate with you. Don't tell me this hasn't happened to you before. How many times have you read someone's bio, it sounded great, but they didn't look, up to scratch, or they may have had a bad haircut like me, and you swipe left? That's what we need to change. Swipe right, give them a go. Okay, another thing we can do is go out and meet people. Go to a bar, go to some social setting. You can tell if someone's single. I mean, they're obviously not sitting hand in hand with their boyfriend or girlfriend. They're not all lovey-dovey in the corner. Generally, if it's a group of guys or girls, at least one of them will be single. Go up and start a convo. What have you got to lose? I mean, there's no sign on your forehead flashing saying that I'm looking for a relationship or someone to date. Okay? So you can go up and have a conversation with anyone. We need to remove these barriers. Okay, and the last point, the most valuable one, if you're going to take anything out of this, it is to seek longer term gratification. So for me personally, look, I'm a guy, we do see things we like and we chase it. We're like a dog with a bone, we'll run straight after it. But guys, we need to change the way we think, and we need to think more long term. All right, sure, there's there might be someone that's keen on some fun tonight, but what's that going to get us long term? If you're genuinely looking for a relationship or something long term, we need to distance ourselves from those situations and try and speak with people that are looking for more of a conversation and may have more things in common with us. Girls, again, you can't swipe that many people and have 100 unread messages, okay? Keep it simple. Keep a small list of guys that you're talking to at once, and then you'll find that you're not so overwhelmed with it all. Okay, so hopefully that was a bit of fun with Tinder. Look, I do think that Tinder does have a long way to go before it's actually going to do anything more than just a hookup site. Ultimately, I have had a bit of a laugh with this subject, but it is important to remember that relationships are a key part to our successful mental health. And Tinder is something that, technically does take us away from developing those relationships. So if we can all go on and try and look at things a bit more long term, maybe the culture will change. But for now, I'm off. I'm going to have a swipe and see what I can find. Don't forget to subscribe to the blog. There'll be a wide range of things we cover off on, the cheeky things like Tinder, right through to battling the challenges of anxiety and depression. So subscribe to the blog. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.